Welcome back. My name is Kevin Hallen. This is Nerdly Presents Off the Reel. This is an Off the Reel review of the movie The Cure, directed by Nancy Leopardi and starring David Dastmalchian. That's an actor who is popping up all over the place as of late, getting some pretty big meaty roles now. Polka Dot in the Suicide Squad, and then he did that Late Night with the Devil, which was like based off of the old paranormal TV talk shows from back in the day. I'm not going to talk too much about that movie because, my Christ, what a waste of time. Nancy Leopardi has directed a movie called The Cure. I say that like I know who Nancy Leopardi is. I'm not entirely sure what else she's done, but I will check that out and I will look into it because this movie has got me interested. First of all, though, please do go over to nerdly.co.uk, your favourite British home for all of your news, reviews and exclusive interviews. We like to cover everything from the big budget to the low budget to the no budget, with a special keen interest on the lower end of the scale. This movie definitely has a budget, and you can see that budget. I wouldn't say it's the biggest budget movie you've ever seen in your life. I will talk about the plot of this movie, I will talk about the cast and crew of this movie, then I'll get into what I did and did not like about this movie, and wrap it all out with my Nerdly Presents Off the Reel review rating. Now, IMDb will have you believe that the synopsis to this movie, or the plot to this movie, is Braun, a 16-year-old adopted girl with a mysterious illness, discovers her biotech billionaire parents are harvesting her blood for sinister reasons. And yeah, that's kind of it. So Samantha Cochran plays Braun, and Ali is kind of like, she's grown up through her life and had like what is considered to be like Lyme's disease or something like that. They do tell you what the disease is, like lymphoma or something like that. So she's been dealing with it her whole life, which means she's kind of a shut-in, wrapped up in cotton wool by her adoptive parents who just want to take care of her and make sure she's okay. Because the littlest thing can kick this off. She bruises, she injures, all this kind of thing. But it does mean that she's lived a very closed-off life. Till one day she meets Brooke down on the beach where they live. There's like a beachfront, and Brooke's a little bit more of a rebel, and Brooke's kind of like, look, you don't need to live like this, you don't need to be like this, but shows her like an alternative way of living. But that does come with a little bit of her adoptive parents being like, look, it's really cool for her to have friends, so that's really nice, but we need to like rein in how she's being influenced because it's not a good thing for her. You kind of go through the movie and start to realize that there are other things at play here. Are her adoptive parents' motives absolutely pure? Are they really looking after her? What is going on? Why do they need to keep taking blood? Why is he so weird? Why are the parents so weird? What is with that weird video, that weird home video that she keeps on watching? I don't want to go too far into the rest of the plot and spoil things that way. It's a very interesting story. I will say we're not dealing with anything absolutely new. They haven't broken a mold and come up with a new high concept drama or anything like that. Let's talk about the cast. David Dastmalchian. I am not a massive fan of this guy. I do like him because he does have a really weird aesthetic. You know, when he was in Ant-Man, he's like the weird one of the group that you're sort of like, oh my god. Polka Dot Man, he's really cool. I didn't like Late Night with the Devil. I'm really sorry. I know like everybody raved about it. His wife in this movie, Ashley Greene, plays Georgia Braun. I was honestly a fan. I really liked her. When she is sincere in the moments and she's cherishing her daughter, you could see that. But then when the movie does turn a little bit, and it's kind of the parents that turn a little bit, they are both great, but she's really great. I will say though, Samantha Cochran, the actress who plays Braun, is 100% the star of this movie. She carries this movie on her back. Still quite a young actress, up and coming, but this girl absolutely smashes this movie. She's so good. When she's a damsel in distress, she's a really good damsel in distress, and you want to jump into the screen, wrap a blanket around her, and just help her. But when she does become a little bit of a badass later on in the movie, she's an absolute badass girl boss bitch. I love that for her. Sometimes you're good at one thing, you're not great at the other thing. This girl's great at both things. Sydney Taylor plays Brooke, her new friend in the movie. She doesn't have a massive great deal to do, but she does get to do some of like the actiony stuff, which is really cool. She gets a couple of little stunts in the movie. I genuinely liked her. She was believable as this friend coming in, not really understanding everything that's going on. There is a little bit more to her character when we discover her brother, Robbie, who's played by Tyler Lawrence Gray, and you kind of find out through these two, they're the ones that sort of bring in the alternative theory as to what the parents are actually doing, and they're the ones that are going to try and like blow the lid off a little bit and let Ali know what's actually going on. Really cool characters. I did enjoy them. They don't do a massive great deal, and that's what I mean, where like before we get to the tail end of the movie, which is kind of their part of the movie, it would have been nice to get a little bit more so that we could build up to that moment, and then it's not as jarring as some of the things are. And then a big old shout out to Bunny Levine, who plays Mrs. Polanski, the creepiest next door neighbor you are going to ever see. I didn't even know she was a next door neighbor. She just all of a sudden at one point turns up in the movie, and her scene is the creepiest scene in the movie. Also my favorite scene in the movie. So cool. So big old shout out to Bunny Levine. And I'm going to get into what I did and did not like. And the biggest thing, one of the main things that I really like is just that it's completely unoffensive. It is a really well-made movie. Nancy Leopardi has genuinely directed a cracking little flick here. Again, as I said, it's not going to break the wheel. It's nothing massively original. We have seen these kinds of things before, although in the third act of the movie, we do move and we shift gears a little bit, and it becomes a little bit cockamamie out there, just like nuts. But then by the end of it, I was like, oh, we really went there. We really went there. The acting is very good, with a special shout out going out to Samantha Cochran, who is just excellent. David Dastmalchian, who we really do kind of adore at this point and is getting props and is turning up in a lot more movies and doing a lot more stuff. Like, it's always good to see that. I just don't necessarily rate him as high as a lot of other people do. I'm still waiting for that one role that he does that really, really does get to me, get under my skin, and just cements him as one of these actors that I'm absolutely going to keep watching. And I will keep watching stuff that he does. But for me, it's Samantha Cochran. She's the one that smashes this out the park. She's the one that makes this movie what it is. By the end of the film, you're rooting for her so hard to just win and just get through whatever's happening. And that is a testament to her as an actress. I really liked her in this movie. One thing that I don't like, but when we get to the third part of this movie, when we get past the opening, which is kind of like a slow burn, sort of like, oh, everything's nice, but what's actually happening, I don't know. We're going to find out a little bit more, and then halfway through the movie, we start to find out a little bit more. We start getting the relevant information that we need. Not all is what it seems, so let's just see what's happening here. That takes us into the third act of the movie, where the wheels come off. The wheels absolutely come off, and it becomes this massive, grand-scaping, epic, you're not going to believe this, let's have a sequel so we can build on this universe. Personally, I don't think we'll see a sequel to this movie. If we do, we do. I don't think we will. It doesn't necessarily need one. I was fine where it ended, but it was kind of like, you're not going to believe this. And I'm pretty sure that is actually a line of dialogue. And on that, some of the dialogue, especially in the earlier moments of this movie, some of the dialogue is cringe. But when you're trying to be this uber serious movie that has a little bit of a message, a little bit of social commentary, and all these actors are putting in the roles they're putting in, just some of the dialogue, you're like, really? You literally asked that person to say that line of dialogue on that day, and that was the take you went with? There's a little bit of that, which it does knock it down a little bit for me. Not too much, but it does a little bit. When David Dastmalchian is saying these lines, it doesn't really matter because he is a bit weird anyway. So the social awkwardness of his character, even though he's not meant to be socially awkward, he's meant to be like this big time, got a lot of money dad, billionaire kind of thing. So when he is socially awkward, you're kind of like, that doesn't really fit with what the character's meant to be, but I understand that you as an actor, that's just how you come across. Like, No disrespect to the guy, but that is kind of how he comes across. I can't really say anything about music and score or anything like that because it's just kind of there. It does feed into what's going on and it is sort of bubbling away under the surface. Totally fine. I didn't have an issue with that. Cinematography wise, there is some really nice cinematography. I mean, even the poster for this movie, and then when you get into like the nuts and bolts of the film, and when you watch the trailer for this movie, it all looks really nice and glorious, nice and colourful. So when it comes to my Nerdly Presents Off the Reel review rating, which is, again, my rating, you can go over to nerdly.co.uk, check out what anybody over there had to say about the movie. I don't know if anybody has reviewed it, but if they have, check out what they had to say. We've got many different voices, many different people. What I will say is, check this movie out. I do think you'll enjoy it. It is a good time. It's totally unoffensive, and it's fun, and it's decent, and it's entertaining. For me, though, it's a 3 out of 5. It's definitely better than middle of the road. It's definitely a little cut above that. So I'm going to go with a 3 out of 5, but that's pretty much the best I can give it. It didn't do anything totally brand new that breaks any mold or any new ground. You're not going to come out of it thinking, I have never seen a movie like that in my life. You're going to come out of it thinking, that was a movie that I just watched. You probably will think to yourself, Sammy Cochran's very good in it though. I'm just kind of rambling now because I feel like I need to say something more about the film, something a little bit profound about the film. But there is nothing for me to say that is profound other than you will enjoy this movie when you get to see it. It's not a bad flick, and that's all I can really say. It's a 3 out of 5 from me, but again, when you see the movie, if you see the movie, hit me down below in the comments and let me know what you thought of the film. It's where we can continue that conversation. If you think I'm absolutely wrong, that's fine, let me know. If you think I'm on the money, that's fine, let me know. If you think I could have been a little bit more positive, that's fine, let me know. We'll talk about it down there, then we'll get on with our lives. We'll move on to the next film that we're going to see. I have loads more to talk about, but thank you so much for checking this video out. Do hit that like, do hit that subscribe, and do ding that notification bell. If I do not see you through the week, I will see you in the cinema.